Here we go. Ah, we're going into October. When did that happen? Whoa, but the weather has been so great lately, hasn't it? Hope you've had a chance to go out and soak up some Mother Nature time. Can you hear me okay? Just somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat box. I want to make sure that we are connected well. And turn my phone off here. Make sure that we don't get interrupted. For tonight's class, oh, thank you, Suzanne. For tonight's class, you're going to need a belt, or if you don't have a belt, use a towel or something, and a couple blocks if you have them. If not, you certainly can make do without the blocks. Yeah, so I'm just waiting 1 minute here, and then we'll have liftoff. Oh, and there's another Julie. Hello, Julie Gasway. Nice to see you. 3 Julies. You know, I want to sing the Bobby Sherman song, but I'll hold myself back. Julie, Julie, Julie. I can't hold back. Okie dokie. Let's fire this practice up. Let me see here. Oh, I've sent a chat to you all and forgot to push send. There it is. It says, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We are diving into the law of intention and desire tonight. If you've been with me the last few weeks, whoops, I don't know what I just did there. The last few weeks, we've been going through a series of the 7 spiritual laws of yoga. These are laws of nature that we apply to our human existence to help us navigate life. And so let me go to screen share real quick here. Some of you have been taking a screenshot with your phone, so maybe you have that nearby. And this will give us a quick overview. You can see the visuals of the mantras. Let's see here, push one more thing, play. All right. So week number 5, there are 7 spiritual laws. So we have 2 more weeks of this series. So this week it's the law of intention and desire. I love this law. I feel the ramifications in a positive way of this law in my life so often. And I bet you do too, if you think about it. So the law of intention and desire, we'll unpack that in a minute. But the mantra, the sacred mantra that goes with it, that has the same vibration that lines up with the law is Om. Oops, there's an M missing. It should say Om Ritam, not Rita. Om Ritam Nama. Sorry for that error. Om Ritam Nama, which means my intentions and desires are in alignment with and supported by nature's intelligence, by a power bigger than ourselves. The area that we'll be focusing primarily on in the physical body, the energy center, is the 3rd chakra, or the solar plexus, the navel region. So you can imagine we're going to be doing a lot of core exercise this evening, core focus. And the sacred sound that helps to enliven this energy center is Ram, Ram, Ram. Okay, so the mantra is Om Ratam Nama, and the sacred sound is Ram. And these will both come up during our class this evening. So I'm going to stop share there and pop back into space here with you. Okay, so the law of intention and desire, we'll just break this down briefly and I'll unfold more of it during class. If you think about it, we all want things. We want things. Maybe we want a promotion. Maybe we're aching for a romantic partner. Maybe we want a larger home or just a more fulfilling life in general. We all have desires, things that we want. But how can we really turn this desire into a reality? This is what this law is all about. So life is an epic adventure, and we are creating it through our intentions and our attention. Okay, this is key. Remember these 2 things, our intentions and our attention. Attention attention equals energy. So we place our energy on what we want. For example, maybe you want a healthier lifestyle and you put your attention on the fact that you want that. And then intention equals movement towards what we want. Okay. And that's the intention is really powerful because it moves you in the direction of your desires. So whatever we pay attention to will grow. And I think it's so cool that we can influence our body and the world through and our world through our intentions and desires by mastering the skills of attention and intention. So if you have a desire, but no intention to achieve it, the desire will just remain a dream. Okay. So when you desire something and you intend to achieve it, you have already created the mechanics for the desire to be achieved. And Dr. Chopra in his book says that when you combine desire and intention, you automatically have all the necessary pieces for fulfillment. Okay. Our intentions are the organizing power. And a couple practices that are really powerful when it comes to manifesting what we want. One is this powerful practice of clarifying our deepest desires, like really asking ourselves, being quiet and listening, what is it that I really want in my life, really desire? And then what makes it powerful is to write it down, to write out what you really want and how you want to feel when you get it. I've done this thousands of times in my life, and it is so powerful. The second part of that is to cultivate an inner attitude of surrender, trusting that when things that you want or plans that you have are not going according to your plan, being able to maybe sit back and say that maybe the universe has a grander plan. And this isn't so easy to do. So we'll talk a little bit more about this throughout practice. And let's start by centering. And this is a lovely opportunity for us to bring our attention to ourselves, to this moment, and then set an intention for what we desire to get from our practice. So please close your eyes if you would, and let's begin to melt inward. The law of intention and desire. The mantra, let's say it out loud a few times. Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. Just clearing the energetic pathway and invoking the energy of this law in our lives, this law of nature. What we put our attention on grows. And when we set an intention around it, if it's pure, if it comes from a pure place of heart, it will manifest in its own time. So drop your attention, your full attention, down into your pelvis, into your seat. Feel your sturdy base. And then as you breathe in, the next time, grow tall through your spine and bring your attention to that length that you may have created. Then bring your attention down to your low belly and let it be very soft. So you feel a few belly breaths now. Inhaling the belly subtly expands. Just keep your attention in the navel region, the solar plexus region. This is our power center. It's the place of action, moving forward, setting intentions, getting clear. So just setting a simple intention for your practice tonight. Why did you show up? What do you hope to receive from your practice tonight? Maybe it's a sense of peace or calm. Maybe it's just a connection through the airwaves with like-minded people. Maybe you want to release some tension and stress. What is your intention? And don't take this lightly. Intention setting can be very potent. Maybe you take this time to pause and ask yourself, what is it that I desire in my practice tonight? See what bubbles up. And there is no wrong intention. Take just a few more minutes here in silence, and maybe ask the broader question, on a larger scale. What is it that I really, really desire right now in my life? In the big picture of your life, what are you longing for? What do you need, want, desire? It doesn't have to be a major grand thing. Maybe you want your house to be cleared of clutter. Maybe you want a different job. Maybe you want your significant other to pay attention to you. Whatever you come up with, I would highly encourage you to write it down after this practice. Write it down and look at it daily. Let's join the hands together in front of the heart. Take a bow. Attention. We stay attentive to this time of practice. Attention energizes us. And we set an intention for our practice, and the intention transforms. These two together are powerful skills. May our intentions come to be. And lifting your head, release your hands. Let the eyes come open. And we are going to start, if you just joined us, you're going to need a belt and a couple blocks. And we're going to start on our stomachs tonight. We're going to put belly down on the stomachs. And it looks like Gabrielle joined us. Hi, Gabrielle. Lovely to have you. I'm going to meet you back there on my tummy, and you come to your tummy. We'll have a tummy down time, tummy party. Hopefully you didn't eat right before this. Let's see if I can go down there. Move this out of the way. So on to the stomachs we go. I have my blocks up front here and a belt up front. So maybe you want to put your props there as well. Put it way at the front of your mat. And we're going to start on our forearms in Sphinx pose. So pausing here, let the elbows be right under the shoulders. Take a moment to lift your right leg, lengthen it long, and turn it slightly inward, and then place it down. And do the same with the left. Lift the left leg, lengthen it, rotate it inward, and place it down. Now you might find that your feet are pigeon-toed here, which is normal because you rotate it in. Just turn your feet straight without turning the legs. That broadens our back. And then let's start by drawing the chin down towards the chest, rounding the back, really waking up and stretching through the upper thoracic area. Feel your ribs draw back, and then slowly go forward like a cow pose. As you lift the chest, draw the elbows energetically back towards your body. And then exhale, round again, drawing the chin down. Once you feel like you've reached your full capacity here, see if you can tuck the chin towards your chest just a little bit more. And then inhale, lifting up. Do one more time. Exhale, rounding, chin draws down, elbows drop back. Keep your ribs drawing up into the body, and then lift your head slightly, looking at the front of your mat. Curl both toes. Curl all 10 toes under both feet, and then lift your pelvis only off the ground. Keep the knees down. Right out of the gate here, we're going to we're gonna fire up here through the core, through the solar plexus. Draw the elbows back and the knees energetically forward. So the element of this energy center is fire. There's going to be a little fire tonight, a ring of fire. It's a Johnny Cash practice. You can sing your own Johnny Cash there. Good. Lower your thighs down very slowly and let the pelvis come down. Put your toenails down and then lift your chest up slightly again in Sphinx pose. Oh, feels so good as you draw your elbows back. And then round again, chin towards chest. This time, keep your head down. Lift your pelvis again. Draw the elbows back and try to drag the knees forward a little. Breathing as you hold, looking down this time. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your pelvis all the way down. Lower your chest down and change your hand position by your chest. Curl the toes under. We're all going to meet up in downward facing dog. So lift the hips up. And in this down dog, this first one, let's go big. Let's go big or go home. Bring your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat. Bend both knees and widen the knees. Just widen out to a big dog as you bend. I'm going to bend and straighten a little bit here. Nice curve in the lumbar. A little pop, snap, crackle, pop in my knees. Are you hearing that in your world? And then lower your knees wide. So your knees are to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your big toes together, shift your hips back almost to a child's pose, but don't go all the way. Walk your hands longer forward out in front of you. And now just keep creeping your fingers forward as your head comes down between your arms. So the focus is not so much sitting back to the heels here, but just growing long through your spine. Deep breath in and out. Parking the mantra in your mind or verbally repeating Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. My intentions and desires line up with the larger intelligence of nature. Lift your hips up now to down dog and bring your feet together this time in down dog. Push your hips high for a moment and let the arches of your feet reach down. Feel that. Keep your breath present. And bending both knees, let your heels drop to the left. Heels drop to the left. And once your heels and hips go left, bend your knees deeper, like you're downhill skiing here, going to the side. And then straighten your legs, hips high. Let your heels and hips go to the right and bend your knees and downhill skier here. And then back to center. And now from here, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling and bring it on through to up between your hands. Pause. Holding here in your lunge. Using blocks if that's helpful, and draw your rib cage up away from your front thigh here as much as you can. Activate there, and then bring your arms back so we can utilize and wake up our core here as we hold in this very familiar posture. Set an intention to be attentive to what you're feeling, how you're reacting to what you're feeling. So just calling on ourselves to be oh so present. From here, touch your fingers down to the ground and round your back into a cat pose. Hold here in cat. Welcome that spaciousness into your spine. And then go the opposite. Lengthen your chest forward. Try to stick your bottom up if you could. Try to arch the low back. Yeah, and now from here, we'll step back to a downward facing dog. Deep breath here as you root your hands down firmly into the mat And maybe let the hips just playfully sway left and right. And check back in with your intention, your specific intention for your practice tonight. Revisiting it. Maybe you didn't have one, and maybe nothing came to mind, and maybe it just did. Let's lift the right leg on up, extend it, and then bring it on through between your hands, please. Taking your time. Draw your ribs up away from your front thigh. Lift your arms and reach back, and then intentionally roll your shoulders up. Grow long through the spine, out through the crown of the head, and just holding here. Strong and steady, connecting to our power center in the abdomen region. Touch the fingers down, round the spine again, and hold. Keep the breath flowing as you hold. Oh, it feels so good. The more you push into the ground or blocks, you can really open up the back door there of the heart between the shoulder blades. And now go opposite. Extend the heart forward. Try to stick your bottom up. If you could make a lumbar curve there, you're attempting. Now, if you have your blocks up front here, like I do, I'm just realizing where we're going, that I'm going to need to move them out of the way. They're going to be in my way. So I'm sliding things a little bit further forward, giving you a heads up, and step back to a plank pose, everyone. Holding plank. Lower yourself down. Inhale to a cobra. Hold here for a moment, squeeze your feet and shins towards the midline so you have strong legs. And then grow longer through your spine as you lower down. Bring the hands down beside your pelvis, palms face inward. Chin looks, or gaze looks down. We're going into Shalabhasana, locust pose. So roll the shoulders up, feel your belly, your fire center, power center against the ground, and then press that down as you lift your upper body, lift your lower body, arms, everything's rising, but the belly is pressing down. And we're looking down, right? So we have a nice long neck, breathing here, stoking the fire with breath. And you might bring that sacred mantra of Ram, 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 not ramen noodles, just Ram, 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 and release down. Bring the hands by the chest. Push back downward facing dog, hips up. Nice big stretch here as you root your hands down. Feel how it helps your hips rise up. And even lift and flare your toes. I always get extra sensation through my legs when I do that. Little tiny bend in your knees. Lift and flare the toes. Squeeze all the juice out of this posture that you can get. Come forward into plank again. Lower down as you're ready. And now variation, bring the hands into cactus pose. So chin down to begin. Tone your abdomen and your buttocks slightly. And then here we go. Lift the upper body, lift the arms into cactus. See if you can slide your shoulder blades gently towards one another. And then maybe lift the legs. Holding here, Ram, 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 Ram. So the mantra becomes like a meditation. You're not going anywhere else. You're just keeping your attention focused on the word Ram, Ram, and the sacred sound Ram, Ram, and then lower on down. Take a moment, let your chin rest on the ground, pause and feel your belly, let it relax. As I mentioned, we're focusing on the core of the body tonight, and we started facing down for a change of pace. Work the back side and then the front side, and sides. So we're going to lift on up, come onto your elbows. And from here, I want you to roll to your left side. And once you're on your left side, check to make sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder. Then your bottom leg, your left leg, fold it back. So just bend the bottom leg and put the sharp inner edge of your big toe side of your foot into the ground. You can use this right hand on the floor as assistance, or you can stretch it up later on. So we're going to push down through the arm and hand and lift your pelvis, holding here. So now we'll bring some love and attention to the underside, the oblique. And sometimes I find that it energetically helps if I reach up, but you can also keep your hand here. And we'll hold for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep pushing the floor away with this left arm. 3, 2, 1, and lower your pelvis. Then just simply roll over to your right side. The legs start stacked, but then bend your bottom leg, please. Plus the inner edge of your left foot down. And as you're ready, lift the hips on up. Left hand can stay down or reach up. And holding 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the pelvis. Roll back to the first side again. So we'll either do the exact same thing, or I'll give you an option to take it up a notch if you want. You can bend the bottom leg under, maybe that was plenty, or you can keep both legs straight and take the top leg back and stagger, just stagger the legs. You're on the edges of the feet. So you choose, and then wherever you're at, lift the pelvis up, hand can stay down, or reach actively like you're trying to touch the ceiling, holding 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your time coming down, and we'll roll back and even you out here. So either bend the right leg under, come up on the inner left foot, or take your top leg and step it back. Here we go, kids. Lift on up, reach on up, holding 8, 7, awakening the oblique muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come on down. And now from here, bring your hands into funky cobra. So fingers a little wider and a little bit forward, strong legs. Inhale, lift up. And staying in this funky cobra, you determine the height, but slither around a little bit. So make it very liquid-like. Put your attention in your spine here. Feel the youthfulness you're bringing to the spine, the pliability, the flexibility. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows. Our attention energizes and our intention transforms. Release yourself on down. And then coming back up onto your forearms, we have one more side one. This one's fun. I think we did this at one point, maybe together, but it might have been a while. Hang with me, it's kind of crazy. This is called the flying squirrel. Do you remember this one? I remember we all did this in class, or at least some classes. Let me show you. Starts like this. So the knees are bent and you're right here and you're kind of looking down, and then you come up and you go, flying squirrel, and you come back down. Flying squirrel, and you come back down. Are you ready? Come with me, here we go. Lift up, flying squirrel, and down. Flying squirrel, are you saying it? And down, one more. Flying squirrel, and down. Don't you just feel like a squirrel? Let's go to the other side. I know what you're thinking. Man, my yoga teacher is squirrely. Bend your knees. Sorry, I'm giving you my back side here, my better side. Bring your elbow under your shoulder. So you round down a little bit. Here you go. Lift your pelvis, lift your leg. Flying squirrel, and down. Lift up again. Flying squirrel, and down. Last time. Flying squirrel, I don't know about you, but I'm sweating. Come onto your stomach. Good job. And from here, press back to a child's pose. And take a moment to drop into the sweetness of your breath. Om Ritam Namah. Om Ritam Namah. And now when we come up, finding a belt will be your mission. If you don't have a belt, there's a way that you can do this and get just as much benefit. The belt gives us some variety. So if you don't have a belt, first of all, we'll all take our left leg forward. And if you don't have a belt, you can just come here into this half split position. Maybe use blocks if you want. If you do have a belt, put it on the ball of your left foot. And just for something different, you'll stay a little more upright. Okay, so either way you choose. I'm choosing to slide my hands up the belt, wrap the belt on my hands once. There's an element of balance up here too, so you'll feel that. Draw your toes back. So use the belt to pull the ball of the foot back, but also push the ball of the foot into the belt. Okay? And if you're not using a belt, just try to drag your heel back. Now lead forward with your chest and stop when you feel some sensation in your left hamstring, calf, or anywhere in your left leg. I can feel my core working here too. It's keeping me from falling over. Maybe you're feeling that as well. There's balance. So you're stretching forward through your heart, pulling back with the belt, yet pushing the ball of the foot into the belt. Wow. And now from here, slide the front foot back, place it on the ground, right on the belt. So it's just stepping on the belt. Touch down, lift your back leg into a lunge, and then hug your feet and shins towards each other. Find your stability, draw your belly and ribs up into the body, and then lift your torso up halfway. So you're hovering. I'm going to open my hands on the belt now to its full capacity and pull up with my hands. Pull up, up, up. Like I'm trying to stretch the belt to the ceiling and holding here. And lower down, touch the ground, and lower your back knee. Very good. Step your left leg back. We'll repeat all that fun stuff on the right side. Again, if you don't have the belt, just stay right here and work it from here. Ball of the foot. If you have the belt, I'm going to wrap it, lift up through the spine, and hinge at the hip joint here. Pulling the heart forward gently. Keeping a nice fluid, mindful attention on the breath. Notice the quality of your focus. Is it direct or is it scattered? And now from here, we'll release. Step on the belt if you are using it. So right on the ball of the foot, step on it. Lift the back leg into lunge. Take a moment to stabilize. Hug your feet and shins in. And then come halfway up. And you can pull up on the belt. I'm pulling up towards the ceiling. Or if you don't have a belt, just use your arms out to the side. Holding here. Awesome. And then touch down to the ground. You can slide your belt out of the way. Step forward to our first forward bend. And please give your head permission to release here. Maybe even reach up with your hands and massage the back of your head. Give yourself a little love there. Use your thumbs on the bottom rim of your skull. So much tension in that area for most humans. Meanwhile, we're not just hanging forward. Keep a tone or an engaged quality in your abdomen. So there's some support for the back. Deep breath in. Exhaling out, Om Ratam Namah. And now from here, step your right leg back to deep lunge and lower the back knee to the ground. Come upright, take your arms up in a wide V position like so, and then take your rib cage back so it feels like you're doing a little bit of a cat pose here. Ribs draw back. Maybe you feel some sensation in the right front of your thigh there as you try to draw that knee forward a little bit. Ribs are back. Good. Now stretch up through your knuckles, reach up and start to open up the opposite direction. Open your belly up towards the sky. And then circle your arms down slowly, coming into or onto the floor. Lift the back leg and step back through a down dog. Couple deep breaths here to explore in your down dog. And please take your time and bring your right foot forward between your hands. Lower your back knee to the ground. Come up with your arms in that V position, nice and wide. And then it's like a baby cat here. Otherwise, we'll call it kitten pose. Take your ribs back and just feel what happens perhaps down in your left leg, left thigh, left hip flexors. You try to draw the left knee slightly forward, energetically forward. So you're connecting through the core here, imprinting that connection and breathing, of course, in some way. Punch your arms up towards the ceiling and arch back now. And then slowly touch down. Fantastic. From here, step your right leg back. We're going to transition onto our back side, and please have a block near you. Checking in to make sure everything is good here. I lost my chat box somewhere. Looks like we're good there. Okay. Are you doing good? How are you doing? Kind of squirrely tonight, aren't I? Flying squirrel, flying squirrel. I haven't taught that one in a long time. Maybe you've never done that one with me before and you're like, whoa, that was strange. All right, my friends, we're in for core galore here on our backs. So have a block, and we're actually going to start by hugging the block. So if you take the block flat, put it right next to your rib cage, right at the bottom of your ribs. And then once we're on our back, we're going to be doing this hugging and just giving a little reminder to sweetly keep the ribs tethered back or stabilized into the body. Don't squeeze too hard. So come onto your back, place the block right against the bottom edge of your lowest ribs. Receive a breath here. Touch base with your intention for your class, or maybe you had a larger intention that rose up for you. And then take one arm followed by the other and just hug the block into your body. Feel your feet on the ground, knees bent, and then take a deep breath in. We'll be lifting for 4 counts. Exhale up, lift your head and shoulders, holding 4, 3, 2, 1. So try to make that exhale be 4 counts. And then inhale down 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale up 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale down 2, 3, 4. So our attention is placed here, slow movement. Exhale up. Breathe out through your mouth and inhale down through your nose. Exhale, breathe through your mouth, hugging the block into you. And inhale down. Let's do one more time. Exhale up. And inhale down. Awesome. Please straighten your legs now. Take them fully straight and together, and take the block in your hands. I'm going to go into some roll ups. So hug the block, please, and float it over your head, but not touching the floor. So the block is lifted a little so that you can keep an awareness of knitting your ribs down. They're not poking out, they're staying more integrated in the body. Let's utilize the breath now. Inhale, move the block over your chest. Hug your legs together. Exhale, roll up. Maybe it's part way, maybe it's to your feet. You choose. Inhale wherever you are, and then exhale. Make your spine be like pearls, string of pearls. Go really slow through the spine. Arms will float back over. On your inhale, block over the chest. Exhale, rolling to your capacity. Inhale to stay wherever you are. And exhale, rolling slowly through the strand of pearls in your spine. Once again, inhale, block lifts up. Exhale, you can give yourself a little press with your elbow if you need to. And reach over. Inhale, sitting up, and go slow through the spine. Take your time. Arms drift over. We're going to do one more time and stay up this time. Inhale the arms. Exhale, rolling on up. And we stay. Please take the block off to the side and then move up to the front of the mat. So just scooch up a little bit here. Once you arrive at the front edge of your mat, extend your left leg straight, and then take your hands and interlace your fingers on your right shin bone. Okay, so this leg is the brake system. Okay, it looks like you're just pulling it in, but you're not. I want you to keep kicking your shin forward into the resistance of your hands. That helps you have a brake system. This left leg keeps extending long as well. As you roll to your down through your spine, don't let the head touch. So right before the head touches, you come back up. So I'm going to do one. If you can come along if you know this, or watch the first one. So I'm going to roll down slowly. I'm using the break of my right shin into my hands. And when I feel my shoulders getting close to the floor, that's my cue to go back up. And then roll up slowly. You're pressing your shin into your hand as you come all the way up to a really tall spine. Come with me this time if you were watching. So we're rolling back. This leg is kicking into the hands. The straight leg is very key as well. It's lengthening long. Try not to let the head touch, and come back up. Big breath on the way up will help you tall. Let's do one more. Roll back slowly. Use your right leg as a brake. Left leg extends long. Try not to let the head or even the shoulders touch. Before you get there, come back. Superb. Let's do the switch. Right leg straight. Interlace the hands on the left shin, sitting tall. So imagine that this right foot is pressing into a wall, and it must maintain contact, must stay against the wall. So keep that an anchor, and then rolling slowly through your spine. Remember, we're not going to let our shoulders or our head touch, and we're going to go right back up. If you're struggling with it, it's okay. These are not that easy. Just find a way to work through some range of motion, and maybe you find your own creative way to come back and forth. Back up you go, nice and tall. One more time. Rolling down, keep pressing your shin forward. And one more time back up. And when you arrive here, just do a gentle forward bend here. And coming on up. And then we'll come on to our back. Something that you're very familiar with is abdominal bracing. We're going to use a block between our upper thighs. So bring the block between your upper thighs and bring your legs to tabletop position. Squeeze in on the block and place your hands right here up near the knees on the front of the thighs. Remember, it's not too much effort here with the arms. So squeeze the legs with your hands, traction the leg bones slightly up, and a gentle pressure now with your hands as you squeeze in on the block and resist. Your legs are pushing back gently into the hands. Shouldn't be too much effort. You should be able to hold this a little while. If you can't, then that probably means you're trying too hard. We're going deeper into the core layers, not the superficial muscles right now, deeper inside. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Holding 4, squeeze the block, 3, 2, 1, and release your big toes to the floor. And the big toes touch, arch the low back. Just give it a stretch there. Right, now you can stay with that and repeat that again. If you want to try something, a different flavor, put the block like this on your right thigh. Lift your right leg into tabletop and then put your right elbow against the block. Otherwise, keep the block between your inner thighs and repeat what we just did. Lift your head and shoulders and lift your left leg too. And just press the block into the leg and extend the left leg out. You can lift it up and down a few times. You could put your other hand to support your head. Pressing block between the knee and elbow. And let's all come back to feet on the ground, head on the ground. Fantastic. And take a moment here. You can move the block over if you are doing that variation. Otherwise, block between your legs for one more double brace there. So here we go. Let's lift the legs up. If you're doing this variation or even the other, put the block between. Lift the head and shoulders, pressing. And then you can play around, maybe even extend the right arm with the leg or support your head with the right hand. One more breath. And then release everything down. Fantastic. Place the block off to the side for a moment and just let your legs fall out to butterfly. Placing both hands on your navel region and falling into the meditative quality of the sacred sound that enlivens this energy center. Ram. Ram. Just repeat it out loud or listen to the sound of my voice. Ram, 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 Ram. Slow breath in, big belly breath. Fill your belly up and empty it out. Once again, big belly breath and empty. Bring the legs back together. Bring the knees into your chest and either roll to your right side and use your hands to press up, or give a rock and roll and come on up to a seated position. And from there, we'll transfer all the way up, transition, I should say, all the way up into standing pose. When you arrive in standing, find one block and we're going to come up to standing position here with some balance. And it looks like I've cut my head off. So let me just pop my head back on here. So this is similar to what we did on our backs, where we put the block right here on the lower rib cage. So it's like so, and then we're wrapping the arms around and just a gentle pressure here to remind the ribs to stay knitted and remind this area to stay integrated and active. So you all know Warrior 3. We're going to do this variation where we hug the block and balance in some variation of Warrior 3. So let's take the right foot forward, left foot back. Remember, our focus is this third chakra. So draw back here, just draw back and hold for a moment, engaged. Slight bend in your standing knee and then lean forward slightly with your torso as you begin to lift your back leg. And stop along the way, reset your focus, your attention on what you're doing. Strongly kicking the back heel upward as you dance with gravity and your spine decides to go down wherever it feels right for you. Hug the block into your core. When you're ready, stand back up. How'd we do? Let's do the second side. Stand on the left foot, right leg behind you. Take a moment to slightly bow, bowing with humility to this larger intelligence that supports us. Kicking the back foot up slowly. As you go forward, draw the block up into the ribs. Let it be a reminder to stay connected. Keep a fullness in your back side. Breathe. And standing up as you're ready. Fabulous. Take the block and place it on the floor. And now, let's see. Do have a belt nearby. We'll use it on the second set. You can just, if you don't have a belt, you can still do it. No worries. I'm just going to fold my belt in half and place it on the mat here. So this takes us back to give credit to my dear teacher, Desiree Rumbaugh, who has such a beautiful style of teaching where she works so much with strength and integration. And so I know we've done this before, but we're going to do it again. So place your feet hip width apart. I like to think of this as collecting all the pieces of you together in one strong entity, and especially through the core. Desiree often calls it a spinal sandwich. So picture your spine in the middle being sandwiched by the front abdominals and the back abdominals, and even the side. Maybe it's a spinal wrap, perhaps. So bending the knees, place your hands on your thighs, and then just look at your feet. Try to do what we call short feet. Try to energetically draw the balls of the feet back towards the heels, and maybe look to see how your arches accentuate. They draw up a little more when you do that. Our power starts in our feet, our arches. Hug your feet and shins towards one another. Feel the inner edges of the legs now awaken. Stick your bottom back and try to make a lumbar curve. Try to stick your tail up. Then spinal sandwich here, support, draw your ribs in. And then from here, from your waistline, imagine someone pulling your tail back. And then from your waistline, extend out through the crown of your head. Now, maybe float the arms out a little bit, cactus pose, see how that feels. Knees are deeply bent. Nice lumbar curve, ribs are drawn up in, and a length in two directions from the waistline out through your tail, from the waistline up and out through the crown of your head, holding here, lifting up energetically. Good. And then slowly stand, squeeze your legs straight. Okay, so you can do that exact same variation, or you can add a belt where you pull the belt and lift it up. So a little bit longer lever here is going to create a little bit more work. If that seems like too much for your back, then do what we did or keep your hands on your thighs. Okay, so another option is to use the belt. I'll talk us through a little more fluidly this time since we've been there once. Let's connect to our power. So feet are hip width apart. Try to find some short feet where you draw the balls of the feet back. It's just a subtle movement there. Hug your feet and shins inward. Push your upper inner thighs back and apart. Create a slight lumbar curve. Then draw your ribs up into the body. Lengthen from your tailbone out through your tail, from your waistline out through your tail. And from your waistline out through the crown of your head, grow long. And then if you want a little more excitement, take your arms straight out. Keep lifting your arm bones and armpits up. You're hovering parallel to the floor. Strong legs, hips back and up, ribs in the body. Piece of cake. Ram, 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 and stand on up. Stand tall for a moment. Let your eyes close in Tadasana. Om Ritam Namah. Om Ritam Namah. My intentions and desires align with that of the larger intelligence of nature. This is our desire as humans. If we align with nature, we live more in harmony. Things manifest more quickly when we're in alignment with nature. All righty, let's open our eyes, coming back to each other, and we'll come down to our seat. Coming into your seat here, take one block. This is our last core option. So place the block between your knees and hug in. Lengthen up through your spine. So option one would be to lean back and stay with your feet grounded, and lean back until you feel some action happening here through your core, honoring your back. Option two would be to lift both feet slightly off the floor, hold the legs as your feet float up a little, hug the block. One or two, there you go. Option three might be to take your arms out, keep hugging the block in boat pose. We're all in some variation of boat pose. Breathing consciously, slowly, steadily. Keep lifting up through your spine, up through the top of your head. And then lower the feet to the ground. Keep the block where it's at and bring your hands behind you. Turn your fingertips forward. And option one would be to roll the shoulders back and just lift through the chest. Stay right here, seat down. Option two is to squeeze the block and lift the pelvis up into a reverse tabletop. Mindful of the shoulders moving back. And then lowering the pelvis back down. Take the block on out. Extend your left leg straight and cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Let's take some time away from the core and give some love to the hips. So you can slide the left foot in and place it on the ground. And then you can see me, I'm all crunched forward here, my shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and lift up. Maybe a gentle rocking side to side with your legs. Perhaps even closing the eyes and tuning your attention, your powerful attention, inward to feel your breath starting to down-regulate you now, slowing the breath down. One of my teachers always said, the only real currency any of us humans have is the ability to pay attention. That's our currency, to pay attention, whether it's to ourself, our desires, or to anyone, like just to show up and be fully present, to pay attention. That is so, so like gold. It's like gold. Let's switch sides. Right leg extends, left ankle crosses over, and slide the right foot back. Staying tall through the spine, gently rocking side to side. One of the things that helps us cultivate our ability to pay attention is a meditation practice, a daily meditation practice, whether it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes. It's like training the brain to focus, be more in the present. And next week, next Monday, actually, I have my meditation course starting, the online course, Power of the Pause. Would love to have you join me. If you've been thinking about meditation practice, or even if you have one and you need to freshen it up, it's packed full of so much valuable content. So think about it and let me know. I'm happy to help you register. So from here, release, and then place your feet on the ground, sitting nice and tall. Bring your hands forward on your shins. Lengthen up through your spine. Let your eyes close for a moment. And just feel yourself sitting in silence, right on the sits bones. And then planting your feet on the ground if they're not already. Very slowly, just start to roll down through your spine. Eventually, we'll end up on our backs, but take it slow, nice and slow. And then let the arms float up and over your head. Feel the ribs slide up away from your pelvis. Open your mouth really wide. Stretch out the jaw, releasing tension in the jaw. Maybe even move your jaw side to side. And then float your arms up towards the ceiling and down towards your sides, down towards your pelvis. And from here, let your feet fall outward. Just let them fall out away from one another, and see about turning your palms up. So your arms are externally rotated. And let your eyes begin to draw closed. Tuning in there to your inner environment. We now invite our attention to travel inward to our inner terrain. Just take a few moments to realize you've gone from your outer world more deeply to your inner world. And remember, where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're really paying attention, all of the energy that makes up who you are, and we're all just a big ball of energy, is focusing, is drawing internally and magnifying, growing in its power. Bring attention now down to your navel region, to the third chakra. this place of power and confidence. And just breathe there. Breathe belly breath. Feel the belly rise. Feel the belly descend. With each conscious belly breath, internally, your body starts to self-regulate. Blood pressure goes down. Your heart rate slows. The slow belly breath regulates the vagus nerve and helps calm all of the organs internally, including the brain, especially the brain. So many times during our yoga practice, we find ourselves showing up, paying attention, learning to be present. Whether it's in the yoga practice or meditation practice, this is how we fine tune and master the skill of attention and intention so we can manifest the things that we want in our lives. If we're scattered, if we have no focus, if we are not aware of our desires, they just remain dreams. There's no energy behind them to come to fruition. Taking a few minutes here in silence. Aware of the fact that you are being breathed by the intelligence of nature. Beautiful life force of breath running through you. For a moment, maybe revisiting the intention that you set for class this evening, or if a larger intention showed up in some aspect of your life, just check in, put a little more energy or attention on that. Remember, if you're serious about it, I would write it down somewhere after class. Receive now a very full breath into your lungs. Just let the lungs completely fill up with your divine breath. And slowly out. And then feel free to stay here longer if you'd like, or begin to move gently, slowly, drawing your knees into your chest when you're ready. Rolling on your right side. Pressing up to a seat. Please take your time. And when you arrive in your seat, sit well and once again, close your eyes. When we learn how to focus our energy and how to formulate an intention, amazing things happen. You may arrive at insights that weren't available to you before. You may run into people who seem magically put in your path to help you. You may overhear conversations or stumble upon resources that further your plan. That's the secret of the focusing power of intention, allowing energy to flow purposefully to assist you in reaching your desires. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. Om Ritam Nama. Say it with me. Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. I bow honoring the light in each of you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight. Namaste. Now, between tonight and the next time we get together, I want you to practice flying squirrel, flying squirrel, and do it at the same time. Rom, rom, rom. That'll be a good one, right? Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you. Next week is the law of, I think it's the law of detachment. Oi, that's a big one, and that's a hard one. So the law of detachment next week. And then the final law, the last week you don't want to miss, it's the law of Dharma, life's purpose. Right? So if you've missed any of these, they're in the library, the replay library, and you can go back, as you know, and watch any of them. If you need guidance on how to find that, I'm happy to help. It's under the included content tab, and all of your library is there. So if you are interested in finding out more information or want to join me for the meditation class, it will start next week. It starts at 7 o'clock and it runs for 4 Mondays. And you can also watch the recordings if that works better. So let's see the chat here. Oh, thanks, Kristen. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. Gabrielle, lovely to have you. Julie, nice to have you here in person too. Hi, bye, Nadina. Have a fantastic week. Oh, Patrice, lovely to have you live as well. Yay, I'm glad you were here. Somehow my chat box got really big. I don't know what I did to it. Let's see, what did I? All righty, I'm signing off. You guys have a great night. Peace.